Officer Grayson Sober was parked in his unmarked vehicle on the street. He was having his coffee waiting for a call. That's when a black SUV arrived and stopped next to a sedan parked on the other side of the street. He decided to follow the black SUV after it left. He reported the license plate to dispatch. After he got a result, the person who owned the vehicle was wanted. He turned on the police lights. The black SUV juiced the gas pedal. Grayson started the pursuit and asked for backup. The pursuit continued in a countryside. The speeds were over 110 miles per hour. The SUV lost control and crashed into a ditch where police officers blocked him. They got him out of the car and searched his vehicle. They found 2 guns, a pistol, an AK-47, and 100 grams of marijuana. After investigation, he was found guilty and was sentenced to 12 months in prison. Ronaldo Diaz was patrolling in the downtown. He was patrolling in his unmarked car. It was a late evening on a Saturday, and he was aware of all car meets. After around 30 minutes of cruising, he saw 2 vehicles on the intersection. He was suspicious about them having a drag race. As the light turned green, they slammed on the gas pedals and started racing. He turned his police lights on and started the pursuit. They tried to escape, but Ronaldo was way too fast for them. So after a few miles, they pulled over. Ronaldo Diaz tested DUI on both of them. Both were negative, but one of them was acting strange. He asked for stuff that they should not have in the car. Both agreed on a car search. Ronaldo found illegal substances in the car of the driver who was acting strange. He arrested the driver immediately, and now the driver is waiting for the court. Officer Jaden Miller was patrolling in the East Coast, USA. As he was driving through the downtown, he was driving behind the car that his license plate system marked for other vehicle and not for the one that was in front of him. He pulled over the vehicle and asked for documents. After detailed checking of the papers, he found out that they were fake. He called for backup to arrest the driver and take him in for an interview. After they took him into custody, he started talking. He was transporting the car to the place where they were supposed to sell it. It was a group of thieves who were stealing and selling cars. After arresting the whole group, police had to find 34 vehicles that were stolen and sold to innocent people who didn't notice the fake documents. Samir was driving to the police station with Tom in their civil police car. Traffic was moderate, and they had their morning coffee. Suddenly, an SUV flew past them, and it was swerving through traffic. Samir started chasing him immediately, while Tom made a report to dispatch. At that time, Johan Hart was driving a semi-truck with fuel. Johan was 22 years old and was having around 200-kilometer long trip. He had an assisting driver, Philip Torres, sitting next to him. As Samir and Tom were chasing the SUV, there was a stalled van on the side of the road. The SUV swerved to the side of the road in an attempt to overtake Johan from the right, but the stalled van appeared. The driver of the SUV slammed on the brakes and crashed into the van, blocking the way of Johan. Johan swerved to the left, causing him to lose control over his truck. Johan got hit by multiple other vehicles before his tanker exploded, making a massive shockwave. Samir and Tom blocked the road and ran out of their car to help the drivers and check on criminals who they chased. Unfortunately, the SUV driver, 19 years old Brent Lennon, died after the tanker explosion. He was a driver of a mafia group, and they found a body in his trunk. The year is 1991, and criminal Daniel Veretti just stole a 1989 Lamborghini Countach. So then, detectives Adam Peterson and Johnny Diggs get into their black 1969 Chevrolet Impala undercover car. And while driving, they see a 1985 Ferrari 288 GTO drive past them. So they decided to follow it, and when it went to a garage somewhere in Bolesco. That night, the BCPD did a raid at that chop shop and found a bunch of stripped-down expensive cars and Daniel Veretti's crew. They arrested all of them and charged them for stealing the cars. Unfortunately, Veretti wasn't there, so they did a raid at his private mansion in Los Injuros, about 100 miles from Bolesco. So he tried to escape in his recently stolen 1990 yellow Lamborghini Countach, but he lost control and he crashed. Police caught up to him and then sent him back to Bolesco for charges of stealing expensive cars. bank robbers Stefan and Emily just finished robbing their third bank in Los Angeles when they were on their way to their fourth. The bank tellers throughout the area, after reporting to the police about being robbed, told every other bank about the two criminals robbing the banks that day. It didn't matter. Stefan and Emily went to the fourth bank and immediately demanded the tellers to give them the money. Two security guards in the building locked the doors, pointed guns at the robbers, while telling the bank workers to notify the police. Soon after, LIPD was dispatched to a potential robbery at a bank. Security thought they had the situation under control when Stefan and Emily started shooting at everybody. Blood-curdling screams were heard throughout the whole building. Bullet holes ripped through the security guards and through several people waiting in line. And both Stefan and Emily shot the glass doors open, and they ran to their Gavril Romer SUV and sped away from the bank. A chase ensued soon after with LIPD and the two suspects. The Romer was weaving in and out of traffic, driving recklessly. LIPD called off the chase once they lost visual on the suspect. CHP took control of the pursuit once the Gavril Romer entered Vallejo City.
Suspect is armed.
Officer Owen, the officer leading the chase, moved to the driver's side to initiate a PIT maneuver. The PIT maneuver was successful, and the SUV spun out and became disabled. CHP units swarmed the SUV with officers surrounding the suspects on all corners. Both Stefan and Emily picked up their guns trying to point them at the officers, but the officers shot at them repeatedly. Both Stefan and Emily were gunned down and killed with multiple canine units ripping through their bodies.